So let's continue with the first unit. We have seen in the last session, that is, we dealt with accountancy. So now let us continue with the accounting principles. These are very important because it is based on these principles we write the accounts, we prepare the income statement and the balance sheet. So let us see what are accounting principles. So they are defined as rules of actions adopted by the accountants universally while recording accounting transactions. So certain set of rules which have to be followed while writing these accounts. Generally what we know as the rule of debit and credit, and further other principles are also there which we shall be now discussing in this session. So these accounting principles are mainly divided into two: accounting concepts and accounting conventions. Conventions means what has been followed as a part of tradition or as a custom, what has been followed from ages since the civilization. Those are called as conventions. Concepts are those things where these chartered accountants come together and decide upon how to, that is, evaluate a particular transaction and how it has to be recorded. So this is the difference between accounting concepts and conventions. Conventions are customs which has been followed and the same is followed even to this day, whereas concepts have been with the evolution of business, with the growing or growth of the trade, the industry, the and even the change in business, what we see, based on this the concepts also undergo a small or a slight modification. So now let us see what are these accounting concepts and conventions. So first we deal with accounting concepts. So what are accounting concepts? These are fundamental ideas and or the basic assumptions underlying the theory and practice of accounting. So fundamental ideas or basic assumptions, when I say, it is like a foundation. So let us take an example of a building. A building cannot be constructed without a foundation. Say let us take a house or a complex or whatever. There should be a foundation first laid, which is under the ground, not visible to eyes. So on this foundation the building stands. So same way, even in accounting, to write accounts also we should know all the rules and the sets of accounts and the methods of writing accounts very well. Only when we are very well aware of these, then only we can write accounts. So when I say fundamental ideas or basic assumptions, these are the pillars, the foundations of our accounting knowledge. So they are the broad working rules of accounting practices. So whenever we write these books of accounts, these books of accounts are written based on these, that is, foundation. So let us see what are the accounting concepts which we have. The first and the foremost concept we have is money measurement concept. So here this is the first base. We have seen in our definitions, the definitions say specifically we record business transactions which are in terms of money, only those are recorded. Why? Because there should be some measure to evaluate. I cannot evaluate a 2 kilo rice with the 5 kgs of sugar. How will I measure? So there should be something to, that is, give a measure. So in the case of the rice and sugar, it should be kgs, the kilogram. So 5 kg of rice will make it equal to 5 kilogram of sugar. So there is one constant unit where I can measure. So in case of business, what happens? The constant unit to measure a particular event or transaction is money. So that is why this concept lays the foundation for writing of accounts. So We can see here given in the meaning that business transactions are recorded in the books of accounts in terms of the value of money at the time transactions are recorded. So point to be noted here. Say for example, I purchased land today in 2020 for 10 lakh rupees. So when I'm purchasing the land, which is a fixed asset, I will be writing a price at which I have purchased today, that is 10 lakhs. So the 10 lakhs will remain in the books of accounts as it is, which is the cost or which is the price which I have paid to purchase the land. So in the next other point which is given here is non-monetary events, that is events which cannot be measured and expressed in terms of money are not recorded. So say for example the ill health of a worker. Say let us say a worker is not well, maybe some fever or maybe some sore eyes, sore throat or some kind of illness. But we cannot write it in our books of accounts because such illness cannot be written in terms of money. So such events will not be recorded in the books of accounts. So I hope this concept is clear to you. The next concept is separate entity concept, which is also known as business entity concept, also known as economic entity concept, and also called as accounting entity concept. Now I have specified all the three so that you know all the names of a particular concept and are able to answer the question in the exams. So now let us see what is separate entity concept. So in the separate entity concept, every business undertaking, whether it is a joint stock company or a partnership firm or a sole trading concern, so these are the different forms of carrying on the business. So sole trading is where there is only one person who is the owner also, who is the employee also. Partnership, as we know, where we get our friends or whoever so as partners of the business and carry on a business. And joint stock company we know very well, where we issue the shares, raise the funds in the form of capital, collecting it from the general public and then run the business. So whatever is the form, it is regarded as a distinct unit or entity apart from the owners who own it. So the business and the proprietors who own the business are regarded as two separate entities capable of entering into transactions with each other. So in the case of law, what happens is when we start a business, if you have seen always, we always have a seal in the name of the business we are starting. A seal, which is where you put the stamp and then you put your sign. So what happens is the business gets its own identity. It has its own name, and in that name you are running a certain particular kind of business. So say let us suppose you you get your shop business named as Sunshine, and you are selling some goods. So now Sunshine Limited is a separate person. It has its own seal, it has its own name which you are given as Sunshine, and you are doing some particular business. So in the eyes of the law, what happens is business is as good as a artificial person. Okay, we are natural human beings, whereas in case of the law, business will be treated as an artificial person. So even that business is also considered like a similar to the human beings, and it is because of this concept we have capital, which is introduced by the owner of the business, is treated as the liability of the business, because the artificial person receives money from the natural person to start a business, and so when the business is bound up or when the business is having sufficient profits, it has to see that the capital is being returned back to the natural person. So separate entity means the owner is different and the business is different. The business is treated as a artificial person who has its own existence. So that is what means with separate entity concept. The next one is going concern concept. So also the concept of continuity. You can clearly see a concern that will continue to operate for an indefinitely long period of time. Say when I start a business, I do not start a business that at the end of 1 year I am going to close it. I am not starting the business with such an intention. When I start a business, I dream or I assume that the business will run as long as I survive, or it will make very big and it may survive even beyond my life. So I assume that the business will continue to be running for a longer period of time. So that is what is the assumption, and the same is followed by the going concern concept. Any person starting a business does not start it to shut it down in the end of the year, or to shut it or close the business within 6 months or 3 months. When a business is started, it is started for a longer period of time. So that is what is given by this concept, the going concern concept. The next concept is cost concept, very important concept. So what is cost concept? It is mainly dealing with the fixed assets which will be purchased by the business. So when I say fixed asset, those are all those assets which you can see, touch, feel, and they give you the benefit of purchase for more than 1 year. So when I say more than 1 year, generally what comes is land, building and machinery. Because when you purchase a land, you can own the land for any number of years. You purchase today, you can sell it after 10 years and make good money of it. Say if I take building, also the same. I construct a building, a house today, it will survive for the next 40 years. So the benefit, I am constructing the house, I am going to take it for the next 40 years. I am receiving the benefit for the next 40 years. So that is what is meant with the fixed assets. So and the fixed assets are recorded as per this concept. So what it says is that an asset acquired by a concern is recorded in the books of accounts at cost, that is, at the price actually paid for the acquiring of the asset. So earlier in the money measurement concept, I gave you the example of land which is being purchased at 10 lakh, which is nothing but as good as the cost concept. So today the cost of purchasing one piece of land is 10 lakhs. So I am going to record it in my books that a piece of land is purchased for 10 lakhs and the value of the land is 10 lakhs. So once it is recorded, it is permanent. I am not going to write the market value of the asset. Why I do not write market value of the asset is that it keeps on fluctuating and we cannot record the market price every day. So that is why in case of fixed assets, we record only the cost price. Market price is ignored. The market price is taken into consideration only when the asset is being sold. So at such a time, to assess whether we have made profit or we have made loss is assessed, and for that purpose only the market value is being considered, or else the asset is always recorded at cost price. With few more